episode 12, and we are talking friends and family. Should you work for them? If you do, what you should do to not
handle that conversation.
Oh, don't burn those relationships, which is super easy to do.
It is.
Well, and it's one of those cases where you can be trying to avoid burning it and then cause that burn.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't know where that started. That, like, friends and family deserve a discount. I think that friends and family should be your first supporters, and they should support you 100% right away. And that's the narrative that it should be. But somewhere along the line, somebody said, like, oh, I have a cousin who does photography. He'll come and shoot your wedding for cheap. Like, as if that's a flex.
Right.
No, you should say, my cousin is the best, and you're going to drop so much money on him because he's the best. And that should be the narrative. That should be the conversation. But it's not. And that's what this episode's about.
I thought I had a genius thought this morning, like Sorcha sometimes has them. Friends and family don't respect what you do, and the level at which you do it don't work for them. Period. Mm-hmm. Paid or otherwise. And as you're building your business, this was the really wise one. As you're building your business, if you are trying to get clients, make sure it is clear to those clients, no matter who they are, that this is a career, not a hobby. And I think a lot of vendors of businesses of any kind, as they're starting out, treat it like a hobby and say to their friends or family, oh, I'm starting this new thing. Can I try whatever on you?
Right.
And they create this expectation that they're just trying it out, and so they're not expecting compensation. And the thing is, compensation doesn't always have to mean money. We've talked about that.
Right.
But it absolutely needs to hold value, because what you're doing at whatever level you're doing it, whether you're learning or not, is still valuable.
1000%. And it's, you know, the whole notion that it's like, oh, looking for somebody building their portfolio.
Oh,
Just say you're broke.
Right.
And just say your budget is zero.
Yes.
And ideally, my ideal photographer would be building their portfolio and willing to work for nothing. And can we just put that on the table? And I think there are people who will work for nothing, and that is one of the ways to make it in this game. And but do not sugarcoat it with, like, looking for somebody building their portfolio.
You're gonna get what you pay for. Period. Starting planners that are just starting their business. Okay, well, you're gonna pay them $300, and those planners don't have enough experience yet to know the red flags when they see them and solve the problem ahead of time. And you got what you paid for. You got a $300 service. And I piss people off in the business all the time saying that, and day of coordinators that charge $500 and $800, and I say you're going to get what you pay for with that. But everyone has to start somewhere. Yes.
So the struggle here is that you're dealing with, very often, people who are looking for vendors on a budget, and then they're leaning on the closeness of your relationship with them to justify that ask. Right? And that's kind of, I think, what a lot of this comes back to with what you were saying, where you want to feel like the people who are closest to you are actually genuinely supporting you. They're not leaning on your relationship to get something from you. Mm-hmm. And it's that expectation on top of also seeking budget services that makes it feel super, super icky as a vendor.
Right.
So how do we handle that, navigate it? Because yes, when you're starting out, it's great to lean into those relationships also. These people know you, they trust you, they'll give you a little wiggle room. It can be mutually beneficial.
Right. But that's an important distinction to make, though, for real, because you're actually defining what the difference is between a family member or somebody you love asking for reciprocation from what they've given you, but you're defining it. You're saying make sure they're not leaning on your relationship. It doesn't always have to be 50-50. I have family members, I have friends, I have people in the industry that if they need something, I won't question. And money isn't always exchanged, because I know that they're going to do that for me as well. Right. And I know that they have done
that
it.
Relationship, though, and you have enough of an established back and forth with them that you feel like you can trust them. But what happens, and how do you handle it when that doesn't exist? When they want that thing and you don't necessarily have an understanding with them, when it's just, well, it's either someone who's really close and has bad boundaries, so it's already sticky, that's one, or it's someone who's not close enough and is trying to act like they are. Mm-hmm. How do you handle that?
it all goes back to having a written contract. And people say,
Even
oh,
with friends and family.
absolutely be,
Especially.
especially friends and family. Especially friends and family. And I would so much rather have the awkward moment, the awkward 30 seconds where I say, hey, I know we're pals. Hey, I know you're my cousin. Can we get this in writing so that both of us have very clear expectations versus a broken relationship on the other end because it wasn't clarified. And there's somebody being unhappy with how it worked out.
It's really fun to say like, oh, we're friends, we can handle this. We've been through whatever XYZ. We got this. There's so much power in saying, I love you. I want to continue loving you. Let's write everything down.
Yeah.
And let's put our signatures on this.
So I have a cousin that's a baker, and her neighbor was turning 16, and she said to the family, I'll make your birthday cake. And there was no clarification around what that meant and what that looked like. And then she said, tell me your ideas and what you want it to look like and whatever, and I'll do it. And then they came back with, they wanted a 3-tiered, basically wedding-style cake with 3D figures around the bottom doing a particular activity. And the top tier was a sphere that looked like this very specific thing. And my cousin was like, well. And I said, so you're going to have that conversation differently the next time you offer to make something for somebody. You need to say, here's my expectations and my willingness. Yes, I'm going to do this thing for you for free because I love you. Here's what I'm willing to do for free. If you'd like something more than that, we can talk about if there needs to be additional compensation, because I don't want anybody to walk away from this experience being upset or feeling like they were taken advantage of.
And I think that where things get really, really sticky working with friends and family is when you're in a relationship where it doesn't necessarily feel safe to be that direct.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're comfortable setting boundaries with clients, even if you have systems setting boundaries for clients, these situations wind up getting really sticky when you either feel obligated to sidestep your, typical protocol, or when you just get that little ask.
And the answer needs to be no, and we need to be confident.
It's so hard to do that.
It's terrible. But again, I would rather have the 30 seconds of awkward no, but here's why. Because I love you and I feel that our relationship can handle me saying no, whereas here's all the ways that can go weird. I do that with people. I had an ask recently, not a friends or family, but they were like, hey, we want this thing. And there were some other factors that made me say, I don't want to be involved in that. And I had to figure out a tactful way to give just enough information that's not me being a jerk saying, no, I don't want to do your project. But here's why I'm morally against doing this particular project in a very brief way that's not pointing fingers. And the response was, I'm so sorry that was your experience. I completely understand. Let's talk about a different project another time.
Yeah.
And that's at the beginning of that relationship, and that's building an expectation from the beginning.
So, I don't know, Emily, have you ever had that experience where, you've had friends or family kind of lean in and it's caused problems for you?
Not so directly. I really only have one experience, and it's a personal event experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned from that experience and translated it into my business.
You can avoid having this problem.
Yeah, but
Right way to do it.
I'll talk a little bit about it. We won't get super involved. But it was my baby shower. I was approximately 35 weeks pregnant when we were planning. My mom wanted to plan it. She bounces on the project herself, so I ended up taking on the planning myself.
Ooh, there's a big red flag, right? Where you're leaning on people who say they'll do the thing for you, and then you can't rely on them at all because they're not a real business. That's a whole other side to this coin.
Yeah.
And especially being pregnant and the planner myself, so I was like, okay, fine, to avoid all the headaches and drama, I'll just plan the event myself, it'll be fine. Day of, she created a bunch of unnecessary drama and accused me of having my in-laws plan it, to bad-mouthing her to my father, to talking shit about my husband, to literally all of that.
Just being super dramatic.
Yeah, it literally was super dramatic and completely unnecessary, and I was
And not really about your baby shower.
and not at all about me, my baby shower, or my child. So I said, this.
It's kind of a worst case scenario, right? And like you never want to think that your relationships, your events, the things that you're involved in are gonna get to that point.
You
ever.
never think your event's gonna be the train wreck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly, because you want to assume that the people around you are like,
Hey, gonna take care of you and gonna love you unconditionally.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Whoa.
So I think it kind of breaks down
I'm just kidding.
into
Are we?
into what kind of personality you are. Like people will always, I get a lot of trash for Virgo tendencies or whatever, or just trauma experienced childhood, like the things that make me watch out for all the bad things that could happen now, whatever the reason is behind that. That's what makes me good at my job. And one of those things that serves me well is in a friends or family kind of dynamic, if there's an ask involved, I can look at it real critically and say, here's all the ways this could go wrong for me in my head, and then figure out how to communicate that, what level of that is appropriate communication based on the relationship.
Right.
And have a plan to offer a solution instead. So if somebody wanted me to plan their whatever, if my gut reaction is absolutely not, that's not a safe thing for our relationship, regardless of whether it goes well or poorly, what is my solution to that? Hey, I have lots of planner friends, and I would rather, if it's a good relationship and they're not a horrible person, I'm going to say, you should absolutely hire my friend Emily. And if they're like, oh, I wasn't planning on spending any money,
Then you know right off the bat.
then you know,
Yeah.
like, that's where this relationship is headed also. But on the other side, I have had friends, family say, hey, we'd like you to plan this thing, or we'd like you to decorate for this event or whatever. How much can we compensate you?
Right.
Right at the beginning of the conversation. And those are the people that I will work for in a heartbeat. I will take on more than I usually would. I'm doing a wedding this year that's way bigger than I'm usually comfortable with because they are that kind of person. They have always respected what I do and ask about it and are interested. And every time I've given them any advice, I get a thank you.
Yeah.
And that is going to be valuable experience for me. And I know that it's going to be a great outcome for them.
Mm-hmm.
I have an interesting relationship with this, I think, because I don't, of the four of us here, my business model probably offers the highest volume of, I sell more
Yes.
individual cakes and cupcakes and orders to people, and also my ticket price for a lot of these can be quite a bit lower. I don't operate on like a package style like pricing structure. So and because it's not always just these big events, sometimes it's like, oh, we just need cupcakes for this, or we need birthday cakes for this. And these are already events that are very centered around family relationships, and maybe they've been coming to me for 3 times a year for 4 years. And so I feel like I don't always get friends and family necessarily, but I have this weird pressure that I put on myself to try to take care of my regular and ongoing customers. And I wind up slotting way too many people into the friends and family. Just, I will quote a little lower, or I'll just give them that 10% discount, or I'll do more, or I'll throw in extras. And it's because, well, it's just a couple extra $4 cookies.
And at the end of the year, how many dollars is all of those $4?
It's time.
Well, and another like distinction from that is, have they ever thrown a paying gig your way? I see it in the music industry all the time too.
For
Is-
sure.
People
Favor economy.
yeah, and it's like, oh, it's love for the art. I love art so much, I want to get rich off of it.
Yes.
Or not get rich, but like sustain my life.
I want
And
to
so-
do this every single day. I want my whole life to be built in
Yeah.
a way that enables me to pursue the art that I love with everything that I have. And in order to do that, I need to get my an electric bill
Yeah.
paid every month.
That goes
It's
back
cool.
to the making sure that people understand it's not your hobby.
Right.
Right.
This is how I pay my bills. This is not a hobby. This is not something I can afford to do for free.
Yeah.
If I want cookies, I pay Sorcha for cookies. Whether she charges me what she charges everyone else or not is her decision, but I don't expect free cookies and I don't expect discounted cookies. I expect to go pick them up like everybody else has to go pick them up.
Right. When I communicate effectively, I will see who my friends are.
Yes.
And it was really hard for me to feel like I'm losing friends, because I'm losing people, but are they friends?
Ooh.
Ooh. And we don't always have the privilege or the option to just be cutting people out and cutting ties willy-nilly. It's not realistic to say, don't have those people around you, they're toxic. Sometimes you really do have to deal with the fact that, like, this is less than ideal, I don't like it. But if you know that, and you safeguard yourself because you have those expectations about exactly who that person is to you and exactly what you're willing to do for them, again, it still protects and safeguards the relationship and it protects yourself.
That tough conversation is a lot easier than dealing with burnout. And if you're burning yourself out, burnt bridges.
Burnout.
And every time you have it, it's easier. You figure out a better way to clarify and communicate it. So when you're first starting and having to kind of say no to somebody or saying, this is going to be an awkward thing to say, but I really want to get this in writing. Every time you have that conversation moving forward with somebody in a similar kind of relationship, you figure out the verbiage that works best for you and is received best, and it gets easier and easier, and you get more comfortable having that boundary for yourself. And then, like you said, like we all said, that person's not a real friend if they don't respect that.
And don't assume that people who are asking for free things are
malignant narcissists. Bent on destroying your business.
My mom.
They might be trying to connect with you, right? They might be trying to reach out. And so, like, me in my early days of dealing with that, going, no, I don't want to do that. Yes, good boundary. No, bad execution.
Right, yeah.
So, hey, I'm really so glad you love what I do. Can we love what I do with some dollar signs?
Well,
and
and that conversation can be as simple as, I'm so flattered that you're interested in having me involved in this capacity. Here's what I charge people for that.
Yeah.
I wish that I was a millionaire and could afford to not charge you and just do it out of love. Love doesn't pay my mortgage. Sorry.
I get this all the time from people. And again, I think this comes back to having a business model where I sell some items that are really inexpensive or kind of small scale. I'll have people reach out to me. Oh, it's my mom's birthday next week. Oh, it's, this small event. And they want to support my business. They want a little mixed cupcake box or, whatever. And the ask in their mind is really small. They're just trying to throw me $50. But the reality is, because they don't have a good understanding of what my business actually sells, I would be losing so much money and time to do that. You want me to make 3 different kinds of cupcakes and you want 6 of them? Like, that's 4 hours of work, a bunch of leftover product. That makes no sense for me.
Right.
But you ever get this one where it's like, hey, I can't pay you your full price, but I'd like to cover your costs. Well, my costs are my price. Right. I've calculated this very meticulously, and this is what it costs to do what I do.
Thankfully, we don't exactly. Our costs are what we do. That's what we do. And if you want me to break it down into however many hours I spend for you and you want to micromanage me that way, this tells me immediately you are not my client.
I can literally break down how much time goes into planning and executing an event for you. I can do the math if you want me to.
Then you're going to pay more because when I get real picky about it and actually get honest about
I'm
it's going to cost a lot more money.
Right, when I have to be so particular about it and you're going to start micromanaging my time, then I'm going to charge you more.
You want to talk? We can talk.
If
Right,
I have
we're
to
gonna
get your floor plan 5 times because you've changed major components that impact that, I'm going to charge you for every extra hour, and my hourly fee is not cheap.
No.
I do get that though. I do have folks who, and this is every cake maker in the world will tell you this. Oh, we just want a simple cake. We
That's
just
not a
want
thing.
a
That's not-
simple thing. We just want a small cutting cake. We just want,
That's not a
and
thing.
it's the word just.
2 days ago,
We
somebody
keep
was
getting
like,
this.
all I need is like a 30-second recap. Like, you just have to record 30 seconds. I'm like,
No.
first of all, I am
Edited 30
recording.
seconds is not recorded 30 seconds.
Your event is 2 hours. It takes me a half an hour to get there. I spent 15 years perfecting my craft, so when I get there, I know which 30 seconds I need. So I record an hour of footage to edit into 30 seconds. It takes me 20 hours. It took me this long to buy the computer and my car and the gas. And you know what? I want a little extra. So when I'm done, I can have some fun. So your $50, you can sit on it and
And put your phone up there.
So, I actually had one yesterday.
I love we're all actually like, oh, we just got this.
I
we
just got
this.
screwed.
It's definitely tough. You know, like I said, I had 2 different people in the last week who both reached out wanting to place orders for next week that I had to turn away. And one of those cases, actually, the person who reached out to me, the event was last minute for a family member of theirs. And they were now scrambling, trying to get other vendors to help out because they really wanted to make sure that this family member of theirs got the something special. And again, it's passing the buck. It's like, well, this person didn't plan, so now they're reaching out to someone in their family, and now their family's reaching out and leaning on their friendships because at the end of the day, this favor economy has us all feeling like we should.
with terrible boundaries.
Just don't, guys. Just
I
don't.
already said them.
Just don't say the just don'ts twice.
I said just don't assume that you don't need a written contract.
Aren't we supposed to do this at the end?
I was trying to make it the end.
It was the
We
end.
actually had a good conversation, and
Which
we
is
kept
why I'm
going.
saying we can edit that into the.
We can.
We can fix it in post.
I
huh?
will.
Hold on. What are the dirty words
It's-
we're never supposed to?
It sounds like you're trying to.
She's throwing candy at the tech team.
She's trying to get us to eat so we stop talking.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get ahead, but I keep falling short. Sometimes it's tough getting out of bed when I'm feeling out of sorts. Call it what you will. It's just the art of standing still. I'm just trying to get it right. Call up my besties for a ride. You know the best is yet to come. Where we go, we hold strong. We've done this for so long. It's like we're stuck out on our run. You know the best is yet to come. Where we've been, they can't go. The only place we know, 1,000,000 miles from the sun. You know the best is yet to come.
Bye.